This is The Rusted Willow, and my name is Tammy, and this is where we do high-end DIYs, thrift flips, and trash to treasure. So let's get started with DIY number 1. I had this drawer in my booth. I had upcycled it before, and it didn't sell, so I brought it home, and I am going to flip it again. So I am just cleaning it up, taking off the bow, taking off the price tag, and I'm going to give it a good sanding here. I clean it up really well, and I put some real pretty shelf liner inside, and I am using this little vacuum from Target. How cute is that? It was in the dollar spot, had to have it. I actually have one of those little cows. Everybody else has like a ladybug. Well, I chose the cow, and he doesn't work very well, but that little thing does. So anyway, I like it. Got it from Target. Go hit your dollar spot. All right, so I give this a good sanding inside and out, all over. And then I wipe it down really well, get it all cleaned up, and I take off the knobs, and I fill those holes with wood filler. I guess the drawer pull, not the knobs, the drawer pull. And then I'm going to use this fusion paint. So I got this sample. I wanted to try it. It's a darker gray, and I thought it would go gorgeous with this purple shelf liner. And guys, it does. It is so pretty. And the color is called Hazelnut. And I love this fusion paint. Okay, so I just started using Annie Sloan. I got that paint on sale, the Annie Sloan paint, and I really, really like it. But it is super thick. This fusion paint just glides on like butter. Now, this is not a sponsored ad or anything. I bought this. It's a sample size because I always like to try new colors. And I bought this at one of my local vintage markets. A lady there sells the fusion paint, and I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, so if you have some near you, go get a sample and just try it because you're going to love it too. All right, so I paint this drawer inside and out with this fusion paint, and it's called Hazelnut, and I think it's one of their new colors. And I do the inside first, and I let that wood filler dry, and then I go over the outside with the same fusion paint. And I only had to do one coat, literally one coat, did it all. Now, this drawer already had little feet on there, and I don't touch them at all. I just paint the inside of the drawer and the outside of the drawer, and that's it. And it only took one coat. So now I'm going over it with the outdoor Mod Podge because this is going to be for my dogs, and I want to be able to clean it. Now, this outdoor Mod Podge is super thick. It is like paste, guys, like peanut butter. It's that thick. So I had to water it down, and I didn't clean my brush or anything like that. I just used the same brush that had paint in it and put on this Mod Podge. But I really had to water it down so I could get it to glide on because it was so thick. I was about ready to get a spackle knife out. I didn't know how to put it on. Anyway, it worked really well. So I want to be able to scrub this because, you know, dogs slobber, and when they see their toys, they're all about it. And I want to be able to clean it and keep it nice and clean. So then I made these words with my Cricut, and I don't know why my words just escaped me, but anyway, I made these words with my Cricut, and yes, I am using the cheap vinyl still because I'm not throwing it away. If you watched my last video, oh my goodness, if you haven't seen it, you need to go back and watch it. But of course, the W rips in half as I'm trying to tear off the transfer tape, and I was not going fast, guys. I was going slow. So anyway, the struggles with the cheap vinyl. All right, guys, tonight is Thrift Flip. Let me say that again. Tonight is Third Thursday Thrift Flips. I can't even say it. With Elizabeth at Southern G More Gals, and we have a special guest host this month is Courtney over at Amethyst Adventures. Now, guys, if you have not seen Courtney's channel, she does glam. Like, she is high glam. She does farmhouse glam, but she does glam, modern farmhouse. She does it all. Like, go over and see my girls. Tell them Tammy sent you. Let's get back into these DIYs. And guys, you're going to have to stay to the end because that's the best one. I just started picking up stuff in my craft room, all right? And because I'm trying to clean my craft room, I'm like, you know what? I just got to get the stuff off the floor. So I have had these wood cutouts. I don't even know what they're called. They're like, I don't know. My husband cut a tree down, and I made him cut me some of these rounds. Wood rounds, I guess. That's what we're going to call them. Sander, game changer, love it. All right, so I had these wood rounds. They were on my floor, like I was saying, and I just sanded them down both sides, and I sanded 5 of them. Yes, I sanded 5 of them. And then I took these little candle holders, which I got at the thrift store for like a bag of them for like 50 cents. I took those candle holders and I am just staining them with my Waverly Antique Wax. And then I'm wiping it off. And I did 3 sets of feet. Now, I did 2 to begin with because I wasn't sure that I was going to like this, but I liked it so much I did a third one. So I am making risers out of these wood cutouts. And they're so unique. I mean, look at the wood grain on these risers. And I use my paintbrush to clean up the wood glue. Now, these risers are kind of, I don't know what you call it. I thought the bark was kind of hairy, so I trimmed the bark down, but I used my wood glue and my hot glue to put these little risers in place. And these risers, or these little feet, I actually put the glue on the wrong side, so I had to go and wipe it off and do it all again. Go figure. Oh, the joys of crafting. So I just put 3 little feet on each of these risers, and oh my gosh, look at that wood grain, guys. Look at that wood grain. I love it. I believe it was an ash tree that he cut down. So I thought the bark was a little hairy, like I said, so I trim up the bark a little bit, and I love these. Okay, so here's the third one. I decided, you know what? I'm doing all 3 of these. I was going to do 5, but you're going to have to stick around for the last DIY to see what I do with those last 2. Because as I was trying to think of something else, because I'm like, I don't want to do 5 risers, but I was just trying to get these items up off my floor and flipped so I could put them in the booth. And I decided I'm going to make something else. So you got to stick around for the third DIY because I think those are my favorite. The last DIY is my absolute favorite. But these are gorgeous. I am all about wood grain. Oh my gosh. These are gorgeous. Now, I did not seal these. I just left them as is. I just sanded them down. And look how pretty these are. Now, I kind of slowed this down because I don't like to watch everything in supersonic speed. And then I take my brush again and I clean up the glue and I trim the edges down. So I did this last one the same way as I did the other 2. I just slowed it down so you could see a little better what I did. So I guess I'm still trimming it. Anyway, so I used hot glue and wood glue and they were both Gorilla hot glue and Gorilla wood glue to glue those little feet down. All right, guys, on to DIY number 3. Okay, so I thought I was going to antique wax these, but the antique wax was not taking to the wood. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and paint these, and I don't know what I'm going to do, but I was still going to make risers at this point. And then I got frustrated waiting on the paint to fall out because it wasn't coming out, and I just had to scoop it out. So anyway, I am using plaster, not white, but plaster, Waverly chalk paint here. And I don't give it a good solid coat. I just go over it lightly, just to the edges. And I do front and back. Guys, if you're returning, I want to thank you so much. I love reading your comments and your tips. Thank you for giving me those, because I am a fly by the seat of my pants kind of crafter. All right, so I got both of those wood rounds painted, and now I am going around the edge with my Waverly antiquing wax, and I'm just distressing the edges. And you can really see it on this side. I love how this looks. That plaster chalk paint with the antiquing wax is probably my all-time favorite mixture. I love those two together. And I'm just distressing around both sides, front and back. If you are new here, my name is Tammy. I do lots of thrift flips. I do a few haul videos, and I just like making over furniture and thrifting and flipping and shopping at Dollar Tree and buying or flipping Dollar Tree items. So whatever I can find, I am flipping. So if you like that sort of thing, I will hope that you will stick around and click that subscribe button and join the Rusted Willow family. All right, guys, let's get back to it. I'm just bringing that wax to the middle because I really like how that looks, and I have to water it down just to kind of blend it in. So once I get it blended to my liking, I have these spindles that I cut down when I made the spindle Christmas tree. If you haven't seen that video, you need to go back and watch it. It's a really good video. I made some really awesome items, DIYs in that video. So I am painting over these spindles that I've already cut down in the color moss. And then I take my white antiquing wax and I antique those as well. And I brush it on and then I wipe it off. So it's just subtle. And then I'm just kind of placing them on there. So I decided to make pumpkins out of these wood rounds. And I just love how they turned out. Oh my gosh, guys, you've got to wait and see how I embellish them. So pretty, so stinking cute. All right, so I'm trying to find the placement of the stem, and first I had to figure out how these pumpkins were going to sit. So I kind of rolled them around on the table to see where the flattest spot was and where they like to sit. So the natural flat spot is the way I let them sit. So then that's how I placed my stems, if that makes sense. So then I glued these down with wood glue. I was going to use my hot glue, but my hot glue gun turned off, so I just used wood glue. All right, so I get a lot of questions about this greenery. So guys, I bought this greenery in Waco, Texas at the Findery. My sister and I, we happened to stumble in there one day, and they have a clearance corner, and they had these cases. So you got 12 stems in a case for $5. And they were selling these stems for $10 a piece. So each case for them would have been $120. We only paid $5 for 12 stems. And I got like 5 cases. And my sister bought 3, I believe. I may have bought 6. I don't know. I know that my husband was real frustrated with me because I was like, I'm buying them. They're cheap and they're gorgeous and I'm buying them. $5. So anyway, I'm using these leaves. I cut them up. I cut them off the stem, and I'm using these leaves to embellish my pumpkins. And these are the perfect fall leaves, like the perfect fall leaves. I'm going to have to make a wreath with these leaves. Like, I can't even describe to you. They're kind of plasticky type leaves, but they look real. They don't feel real, but they are very, very high quality. I can't even explain to you. And the colors are very variated. No, that's not a real word. The colors are like, I don't know, they fade from green to yellow. So they're like fall colors. I don't know. Anyway, gorgeous. So I added some Spanish moss. I added some reindeer moss. I added a bow with, what's that called? A burlap bow. Now this burlap has actually got wire through it throughout the whole thing. Each row is wired. And I got it at the thrift store for like $1 for the roll, maybe 50 cents. And then I just add some raffia bow. Oh geez, why are words so hard? Oh my goodness. So then I do the same thing with the second pumpkin. I add the green leaves. I add some Spanish moss. I add some reindeer moss. I add a burlap bow, and I also add a raffia bow. And I love how these turned out. Oh, we didn't talk about the vinyl. So I did add vinyl onto these pumpkin rounds. Don't forget to go over and visit Elizabeth's channel at Southern Gmore Gals and Courtney's channel over at Amethyst Adventures. I love these ladies. I love their work. And also, if you are here and you've made it this far, please consider subscribing. Did you know 75% of my viewers have not subscribed? Guys, it's free. What are you waiting on? It just helps out my channel and lets YouTube know that you like it and pushes it out more to people, so it helps my channel grow. All right, guys, it's time for the final reveal, and I hope you love these projects as much as I do. I am so thrilled with my wood rounds and my pumpkins and my risers. I love it, and now I know that my daughter's dog will not be scared when he comes over and wants to get a toy out of the toy box. Oh gosh, it's actually a toy box. The toy drawer. So this is the basket that I had before, and it scared him. He's a big old pit bull, and he's scared of the basket because when he would get in the basket, it would kind of tip a little bit. So now he doesn't have to worry about that. He's got a toy box for their toys. Anyway, let me know what you think. Do you like these wood risers? Do you like the pumpkins? I love the pumpkins, and I love these wood risers. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to let loose of them. Oh, I love them so much. I don't know. I made them for the booth, but I'm just like, they're so pretty. Do I have to sell them? All right, guys, I want to thank you so much for stopping by. If you're new here, please subscribe. If you're returning, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Have a great night. Bye.